Florida Congressman Byron Donalds has officially kicked off his campaign to become the Sunshine State's next governor, and he's already scored President Trump's coveted endorsement. Congressman Donalds joins us now. Welcome back.
Good to be back with you. Good morning, Shannon.
Okay, I want to get to your race, but first, these two House races in Florida this week, closer than Republicans would like them to be. In the race to fill Mike Waltz's open seat, Florida Politics says this: polls show that the special election is within the margin of error. Wall Street Journal is reporting that Democrats say you are in full-blown panic mode, meaning Republicans. Why is that race so close?
Well, look, special elections are always different. Democrats obviously are highly motivated because they took a shellacking last November. They don't like DOJ. They don't like that Donald Trump is making America great again. And so they're going to the polls. As long as Republicans turn out in Congressional District 6 in Florida, which, by the way, the voting reports from the last couple days show that Republican votes are surging in that congressional district. But as long as Republican voters get to the polls and vote, they're going to be just fine. And I'll be remiss if I don't add the Supreme Court race going on in Wisconsin. Same dynamic. Democrat voters, because of their dramatic losses last November, they're motivated. Republican voters, we have to get to the polls. We got to show up and vote in Wisconsin for the Supreme Court race. And in Florida, Congressional District 6, Congressional District 1, Republican voters have to turn out. They got to show up. Election Day's Tuesday. And if you want Donald Trump to be successful in his mission to make America great again, Republicans have to continue to go to the polls.
Yeah, we've got one of the judges in that Wisconsin race coming up in just a little bit in the show to look at that as well. Part of this week, the concern about what's going on in the House and the makeup there, and we've got a chart to put up for folks just to see how close this is. There are 4 seats that are empty for various reasons, but otherwise the GOP can't afford to lose anyone. Elise Stefanik, Congresswoman out of New York, her ambassadorship nomination, which was smoothly sailing through, that has now been pulled. And Politico says this: it now leaving that seat at the UN unoccupied risks weakening America's position at a global institution that many countries turn to for everything from financial assistance to airing grievances. Are you worried about the lack of a strong voice at the UN for the U.S. because of that?
I'm not as concerned about it right now. And listen, I want to thank Elise for making that decision to stay in the House for a little while longer. I would fully anticipate that she's going to find her way to the administration sometime soon. But I think when it comes to the UN in particular, we have a definite shift in leadership here in America. Donald Trump and his team, from a foreign policy perspective, are infinitely better than the previous administration. It's really not even a comparison. So I think even though we don't have a UN ambassador at this point, that does not leave a vacuum where America's strength and America's leadership is somehow not on the world stage. You can clearly see that America is leading once again because President Trump's back in office.
So let's talk about your race there in my home state in Florida. You've praised Governor DeSantis. You've actually stood with him in some really tough moments and defended him. You said you'd like to pick his brain and win over his support or endorsement. Still talk that his wife, Casey, may get into the race. What do you think your odds are of getting that endorsement?
Oh, well, look, I would say they're pretty good. A lot depends on what's going to happen over the next couple of months. But listen, I'm a conservative before anything else. That's how I came into politics as a political activist in the Tea Party movement. So the last 15 years, I've been in politics. I've done everything from being on street corners, holding signs, knocking doors. When I was in the legislature, I defended constitutional rights. I've been a stalwart for parental choice and options when it comes to education. And in Congress, I've been really at the tip of the spear of battling the Democrats and some of the radical media outfits on their own networks. So I think that my track record in the Republican conservative movement is something that lines up with Governor DeSantis. He has his own decisions to make. But as being successful in this race, being the state's next governor, my goal is to build on the foundation that he's laid and then step into the other things that Florida is going to have to accomplish, in my opinion, for the future of our state.
And you know, the minute that you officially announce, the gloves come off. So there's this reporting from NBC News. They quote someone that they identify as a DeSantis-aligned Republican operative saying this, quote, "I'm not sure he's ready for what's coming. I don't think he will be able to withstand the onslaught when a huge spotlight is put on his past." The article goes on to quote opponents of yours saying that you've never had the vetting of a really serious race. Your response?
My first response is I laugh. They weren't paying attention to my congressional primary in Southwest Florida, where $3 million of negative ads were spent against me, trying to attack me in Southwest Florida, and I won that race. Secondarily, to any of my critics, let me just be very clear with you. I'm not going to be intimidated. I know about everything that happened when I was 18 and 20 years old in my past. I made a lot of mistakes, Shannon. I don't shy away from them. They're part of my story. And if you look at who I am today, 46 years old, in Congress, having the support of Donald J. Trump, polling very well in the state of Florida, and my track record as a conservative in the movement who has fought in a lot of the major issues in this movement, been around the country standing up for conservative principles, common sense principles. My critics are probably more upset about the fact that I'm here, but I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going to be intimidated. We're going to campaign for the future of Florida, not get caught up in petty Republican fights because somebody else wants to have their preferred candidate.
Well, it's a long race, so we will cover it to the primary more than a year away and the general as well. Congressman, see you back here in D.C. Thank you for your time.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.